All right, welcome back, everybody. Bitcoin doing its usual thing: breakout, fake out, chop, chop, manipulation, all of these great things. So let's take another look at our indicators, break down the Bitcoin chart. We'll look at the altcoins real quick, S&P 500. This is Crypto Rolly, the crypto watch that never stops. Live technical analysis, price predictions, and trading. Remember, these are my own ideas and opinions on the market, so please do your own research, trade at your own risk. I am not your financial advisor. Hit that like, comment, subscribe, tick the bell for notifications. All right, let's look at the market, guys. Slightly down across the board. You can see Bitcoin about 1% down in the last 24 hours, but like I said, it's been mostly just sideways chop, indecision. Are we going up? Are we going down? It's hard to say. So we're kind of waiting on a breakout. Otherwise, you just kind of playing a 50-50 game here with Bitcoin, especially with, the markets just in a potential recession coming forward. So we got to keep that in the back of our mind, but Bitcoin just wants to hold strong. All right, the volume is down below a billion, so kind of low, but not too low. But it's starting to feel it's almost like a weekend, kind of, just with this choppy indecision. And we can see Chainlink is still up in the past 24 hours. I think it has had a slight pullback. We'll look at that as well. The crypto fear and greed index at 22 was at 21 yesterday. We were saying that we were down here for a long time. When would we finally break out on the fear and greed index? We did yesterday, and today we're above. So now that we finally broke out of it, could this be the top of this relief rally, or will we continue up? That is what we're watching for. The block halving is 33 days away, 1 month away from the Bitcoin block halving. So we'll see how price reacts to that. In previous block halvings, the two before, about a month before the halving, price actually had a sell-off. So do we repeat history, or is this something new we will see? That's what we're watching for, okay? Also, guys, I do have the April promotion. My Discord group is free. I'm posting charts, setups, VIP chat, all sorts of stuff. So if you want to join us, the invite link is down below in the description. And I also wanted to point this out. I was looking at the open interest on BitMEX, and this is the 1 hour chart. But guys, you can see here, when the price is rising, the interest is falling. Can you see that? Okay, yes, I'm making sure you can still see. And then let's see over here, price is falling, and okay, so yeah, sorry guys. Price is rising, interest dropping. Price is falling, interest rising. So what this, and again, right here, price is falling, interest rising. So with each one of these little dumps, the open interest on BitMEX is rising. And with each little rally, you can see open interest is falling. So that tells me more people are interested in shorting. Now, could that mean that the market makers see this and they like, okay, we got more shorts to squeeze, let's pump it again? As long as they're bearish, let's just keep pumping it. We were talking about when everyone's bearish, the price moves against them, and then when everyone turns bullish, the price dumps. So one could look at this like, all right, well, obviously people are interested in shorting, so let's just wreck the shorts. But at the same time, this is also showing that there are more traders applying pressure to the downside. Okay, so I'm just keeping that on my radar. It's been a while since we looked at the open interest. Guys, this falling wedge, okay, we've talked about diagonals, not being as strong as horizontals, and this was the case in the middle of the night, 5 a.m., my alarm goes off. I've had this drawn here for a long time. Look at the 4 hour chart. And from each of these experiences, we can hopefully learn from them. I had drawn this 4 hour trend line, and last night we broke it. We actually closed beneath it, and then we bounced. So that's why we say the diagonals aren't always trustworthy. and you could always just adjust them. And that's the problem. Or, do you draw it like this? If I draw it like that, let's see what happened. We are beneath it right now. And if I had drawn it like this from the beginning, we dropped down, retested, and are beneath it. So I don't know. Like I'm saying, I guess my conclusion from what's happened in the last 12 hours here is that these trend lines are good to give us clues, patterns, rising wedges, symmetrical triangles. They're good for clues, but at the end of the day, I have to hold more weight on the horizontal. And on the horizontal, we had drawn, this was the top of the wick here, a resistance going straight across. And you can see where we bounced off of it here and bounced off of it here. So to me, I'm looking at more of a range between 7,400 and 7,125, 7,130. So I'm looking at a sideways range. I do see that we have broken this trend line. So whether you want to draw it using that wick or you want to draw it using, those candle bodies on the 4-hour, depending how you want to draw it, we're testing it right now, but we're going to look at the horizontals with more weight moving forward for confirmations. And the horizontals have done us really well. With that link set up yesterday, I was able to call the target using horizontals alone. And we were talking about when we had this initial drop off, the indicators hadn't caught up yet, so it was best to use our horizontals, and we did pretty well finding the levels with those. Okay, so just something to keep in mind moving forward. And let's break down some charts. Okay, so looking at the S&P 500 real quick, what can we see? We can see that we had a slight pullback at the end of the day, but if I go to the daily, this is what I wanted to show. On the daily, we just hit that 50 EMA target. So when we close this daily above the 21 EMA in the horizontal, I said that that was a pretty bullish close to close above the horizontal, and closed above the yellow 21 EMA. I said that the 50 EMA was the target, and we have hit that. So we broke above it, we came down, retested, and then bounced off of the horizontal and then have continued up, and now we're hitting that rejection spot. So the question is, tomorrow, next week, do we break this resistance and then continue even higher up to like 2,900 where you have this cluster of moving averages? Or do we get rejected here and this was just a big, sell-off, dead cat bounce, and then get another sell-off? And if we do get rejected here, that would also line up with Bitcoin at its top. Okay, so let's go back over to Bitcoin, because this looks very similar when you're scaled out on a larger time frame. You can see that we dropped and have a rising wedge, right? Okay, so are we at the top? Let's take a look at the indicators and we will decipher. So on the weekly, we were talking about the red 100 EMA being a resistance, and you had support here. Now is it flipped resistance? That level is at 7,300. The price is currently at 7,267. So clearly below weekly resistance. Okay, if we close above 7,300, we can make an attempt at that 7,800 region we've discussed as well. It's right here in this cluster. You get rejected, you might have a target back down to 5,900 where this green 200 EMA is. The pink 200 simple is at 5621. So if we do get, a harsh dump sell-off, you're looking back, maybe 6,000, let's say. 6,000, 5,900, 56, 5,700, that region there. But we haven't sold off yet, but that would be a possible target. Now, if we look at our Bollinger Bands, we can see that we're pretty close to that middle BB resistance as well, okay? So if you do get another leg up, that middle BB resistance is at 78.39. Going over to the Ichimoku clouds, And I do want to look at my Ichimoku clouds today because I previously was on Brave browser, and there was a time period it was working fine with TradingView, and then I was just having so many glitches. I switched over to Chrome, and TradingView works better. However, when I did that switch, my settings on stochastics and Ichimoku clouds, they didn't transfer over. So I didn't even know I was looking at the default Ichimoku clouds for, I don't know, a week or two at least. So I saw that, and I've adjusted my Ichimoku cloud settings. If you're curious what my Ichimoku cloud settings are, 20, 60, 120, and 30. Okay, let's look at these. All right, that's not what I want. I want to pull this up. So we are hitting resistance here, pretty similar to what we've been looking at, but we're hitting resistance and slightly above. This level here is at 71.75. So using Ichimoku, do we close above or below on this weekly candle? And your Stokes did have a hint at a cross. If we dump by the end of the week, this blue guy will actually straighten out. And if we actually pump, it will curl even more. So this is not a confirmation here. The next weekly candle close will give us maybe more of a clue on that, okay? Going down to the daily, on the daily, your stochastics are still pointed up, still rising. They are getting high, and generally when they get high, it can call a top. Let's take a look at previous ones. So here was a top here, top here. Let me take off the Ichimoku so you can see that clearer. So you can see that lines up there. This one lines up with that. You had a pullback there. That's pretty clear. Up here you had the top. Up here you had the top. Top. Okay. You were rallying pretty strong here, so it wasn't the best time to be using the daily Stoke cross downs. But if you look at bearish price action, you can also see top, top. You had a mini top, top, top. You see all these, okay? So we are pretty high. We're in that territory. So do we, dump from this level, or do we get one more leg up and then a dump? That's what we could possibly be looking at using your stochastics. And, Bitcoin, just real quick while I'm thinking about it, Bitcoin loves to, look at this wick, a leg up, dump hard, sell off. So could we be looking at a potential leg up to that 7,700 and then a harsh sell-off? It doesn't even have to go to 7,700. It could go to 74, 7,500. A leg up, all the bulls jump in at the top and then dump hard, close back beneath. That would be a pretty good sell signal to me. It almost felt like when we dumped down beneath that rising trend line and bounced hard, that could have been the opposite. It could have been a wick down and then shoot up, but no, we're still stuck in this range. So let's continue the breakdown. I'm doing 13 minutes. Okay, doing decent. We looked at our Stokes. Let's look at the moving averages. Hit the like if you haven't hit the like, guys. Leave a comment for me. I always enjoy the comments, with praises and telling me, you enjoy the video. But if you also have something that you want maybe to look at in the next video, or, you have a question, I don't mind answering, in the comment section or in a video. So definitely feel free to comment and get that algo pumping, okay? So our daily EMA, we are just, snaking around it. It's coming in, this 50 EMAs at 72.48. We closed above it, closed below it, closed above it, and currently above it. We did wick beneath it. It's not giving me too much information when you're just up, down, up, down. The Bollinger Bands, in the bullish zone, hitting that resistance level there. You can see how we wicked off of it here. We stopped here going sideways. You drop down, middle BB support at 66.53. Our Ichimoku clouds. On the Ichimoku clouds, so here's a difference. On the default settings yesterday, we had already broken above that Ichimoku cloud and we were trading above it. But on the settings I prefer, we haven't done that yet. So, could we break through it like we did on the default settings and continue to find support? Maybe we even have a leg up, come down and find support above it. Or do we fall beneath it and then this becomes resistance? That's what we can be looking at potentially moving forward. On the 12-hour, you are finding support on the top of the cloud. The top of the cloud's at 71.75. Let's see where this 12-hour closed. This 12-hour closed at 71.85. So it did not close beneath the Ichimoku cloud on the 12-hour. This one, 72.02. So maybe a 12-hour close under the cloud, that will be a signal for downside. Your support is going to be here at 6,800 on the blue conversion line. You do have a bullish Kumo cross, the blue above the orange. You can see where you had a bearish cross was here, where the orange was above it, trailing down above, and then we crossed, and now a bullish cross. Okay, so just watching that. So, if you like Kumo cross as your indicator, that was a sell right there. So is that the buy there? We will see. You have to look at a lot of time frames, a lot of indicators, and if 80% are pointing one direction, sometimes that's good enough to take a trade. When they're 50-50, you're kind of guessing. So Bollinger Bands, kind of similar to the daily, we're hitting that resistance and floating sideways. Your middle BB support 6,900. Moving averages, snaking around its 100 EMA, kind of like the daily was on the 50, but you are hitting this blue 10 simple support line, and you did bounce off of it, forming a bit of a doji. So we'll see, do we close beneath it or back above it? This is at 71.72. So it's looking like 71.75, is a bit of a important range. Where was our... So where's this one? This is down at 71.30. So yeah, between 71.30 and 71.75, that little box, it can be a bit of a support box. And then, like I was saying, if you get that close above 7,400, maybe we'll get that leg up. And we're looking at 77.20 on the 12-hour, 200 EMA. We've been repeating 7,700 to 7,800 if you get that leg up. And, are we still in this rising wedge if you adjust the trend line? If so, this the upper trend line is still rising as well, but depends how you draw it. So we'll just move on from that subject. It's a touchy subject right now. I mean, not really. I'm still holding short. So, who knows? Maybe we still dump and it's all good. Otherwise, I have my stop loss. Even when we bounced, my stop loss was not hit. So I'm still in the game, and we will find out, right? That's how it goes. Let's see, stochastics. Stochastic did cross down on the 12-hour. So that was another indication possibly that we could be going lower. We could do the same thing on the 12-hour Stokes. If you look here, that was the top. This isn't here, top, but these are just little drops. So on this rally here, we were talking about the 12-hour Stoke cross down wasn't as significant as, in the bear market, or not bear market, but bear trend. You could see, clear tops on the 12-hour Stokes, top, 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 you know what I mean? But once we started rallying, these were harder to read. And we are rallying, so is this a real top or just a mini pullback? Okay, but we are also, in this rising channel, rising wedge on the RSI as well. So if this dips down, that's another bearish signal. Okay, but we haven't done that, so we're just going to take it slow here. All right, so Let me go to the 4-hour and then quick look at the alts. We are at about 20 minutes here. So, we've seen this where we rise, we have a pullback, we rise, chop sideways, rise, chop sideways. So are we due for another, step up? Kind of looks like, a step ladder, right? Or stairs kind of. Are we going to get that other stair up to this region here? A lot of people are calling for that. So maybe we don't. You know what I mean? But a lot of people think we're going to dump here. So maybe we do. So which side are you on? This is the game of psychology and, sociology that we are playing here. Okay. So, are we in this bull flag? Or, was it like the bull flag up here? Remember, I think up here, or here. I think here we were calling for a bull flag. I'm sure we were calling for one here as well. So is this a bull flag or another dump spot? We are getting overextended on that 12-hour and, daily Stokes there. The 4-hour is still coming down. Multiple times it looked like it wanted to cross up. See, this one was where it looked like it wanted to cross up, wanted to, but none of them were confirmed. But I think these all coincide with 1-hour cross up. So if you were looking down at the 1-hour, you would have thought maybe we were breaking out each time. Yes, cross up, cross up, cross up. And each time it just failed again. The 1-hour is actually crossed down at the moment. You also have a trend line governing the price on the RSI coming down as well. So you're going to have to break that, and then, back to the point, 4-hour is going to need a confirmed cross up. A confirmed cross up, and maybe you get that leg up. And you would also break this downtrend on the 4-hour RSI, okay? So, that's why, waiting for confirmations will keep it safe. Sometimes it's hard because you want to be in a trade, but, the move for a majority of this week is no trade. Unless you're a scalper. Unless you're a scalper, there is all sorts of chopping between that range that maybe you could have been taking profits. You just unemotional. I'm thinking about having 2 accounts. One, for scalping, and one for my usual, 4-hour, 12-hour strategy. And on the scalper, just anytime it goes into profit, no emotions, take profits. Don't, think, oh my God, it's going to go to 20K, or oh my God, it's going to 3K. It's like $100 move, take it. Because I would have done well in this range. But, you live and you learn. And yeah, I had another point, but it lost me. So I'll just keep it going. 4-hour coming down, the moving averages. We did close beneath that yellow 21 EMA when we had that dump, but then bounced back up. So another fake out. I've been wanting us to see a close back above the 377 EMA. For a continuation as well. But, let's just pay attention to the horizontals because, this using the 21 EMA on the 4-hour was a fake out. So we just got to adapt, just got to adapt. It's all good, as long as you practicing proper risk management, you're never like totally wrecked. You can always come back. You have, good weeks, you have bad weeks, you have so-so weeks. So the 4-hour Bollinger Band bounced off of the lower band and then actually closed beneath the middle BB here, and still closing 4 hours beneath the middle BB. 4-hour tightening up as well. So, getting ready for that move. Once you see the middle BB tighten up, is usually when you see the larger move happen, okay? So, interesting to see. And we are in the bearish zone. So, if we were able to close back above the bullish zone, maybe we make that attempt for the 7,400 and higher. And Ichimoku clouds, you are flirting with this support line here. You lose that, you do have this 4-hour support cloud way down here. So, this level on the orange baseline is 6,800. Moving this way, say it's more of a gradual fall. You have support at 68.68. So, in the 68 region. if you do get a big dump, maybe you bounce off of the green Ichimoku cloud on the 4-hour. All right, so it's already been 25 minutes. Let's just do just a real quick look at the altcoins, guys, and I'll be out. So we'll just start with Link and see what's happening there with Link. Let's see, Link, it's bouncing around in the overbought territory of RSI, but that's because it's bullish. Same with the stochastics. Pretty steep rise here. How long can this really last? We were up here. It was a pretty nice rally. It broke out of that bull flag. Is it flagging out again? It's hard to say. If Bitcoin dumps, I think Link will also dump. However, Link was acting like a bit of a hedge coin, several months ago. But when Bitcoin dumped hard, Link also dumped hard. So I think when Bitcoin has like little pullbacks, people were moving into Link as like the new Tether or new BNB. But if it's going to be like a $1,000 drop, I'm pretty sure Link will drop along with it. We found this target using horizontals. When we were down here, I had drawn a resistance horizontal and then another one here, and we hit that target and consolidating above it. So that's actually bullish to see. And where would the next level be? You could also draw, you had that range there, so you're kind of flagging out between the same range here. You could flag out here, so it doesn't have to be immediate. You could go sideways, or maybe you lose that and bounce back off this previous resistance now flipped as support. But if you are able to get above $3.50, where would my next target be? Well, just sticking to the horizontals. Let's see, we can draw that so you can see where it held as support, and when it broke down, it was rejected and then dumped. You had support here, support here, support here. So that would make sense. That would be around $3.85. Okay. Let's see what else. Tezos did not break out the same way that Link did. It looked like it was following, but it's also losing this trend line that we had drawn here. But how much are we trusting these diagonals? So let's maybe look at some other indicators. But I would say that level right here, this horizontal, is a fair target right there. This was coming in around $2.33, and that's using previous support right there. And we could even draw another horizontal right here in this region, support, resistance, up at $2.61. And that's if Bitcoin decides to take another leg up. You could be looking at these levels. Now if Bitcoin dumps, I imagine you'll retest at least this resistance flip support area, $1.76. XRP, let's look at XRP. XRP broke out of the symmetrical triangle that we had formed here, but subjective. You can redraw them. You could do something like that. Are we looking at, this is the actual one that we need to be drawing. That's why if you can keep redrawing it, it's not very helpful. So instead of looking at that, let's just look at some horizontal levels. You had resistance here, which you can see. XRP is having trouble breaking that. If we are flagging out, that's the real trouble, is this horizontal here, and that's coming in around 20 cents. So we can extend that out. So start closing above there. Maybe you get your actual breakout. If you dump down, you're going to look at your, why does this keep happening? You're going to look at your horizontals. So you had resistance and support at 18 cents. You lose that, your resistance flip support is going to be down at $16, and so forth. Okay. Ethereum, and I'll be done. Okay, so Ethereum also, broke down from this little trend line, but that didn't work out. And what looks more appropriate would be a horizontal, and like right there, coming in around a dollar, or sorry, 174. Does 174 have any significance? Let's just draw this one out here. I mean, sort of. Maybe if I go to a daily, let's take a look at that. On the daily, yeah, it does. So you can see you had resistance right here, way back here. You had resistance. You finally broke above it, bounced off of it as support, and rallied higher. Right now, we hit the same level, 174. So you're going to want to close, the daily above 174, and then you have 191. So if we are going to break bullish, I think 191 would be a decent target. Otherwise, if we break down, you're looking at, this previous resistance now flipped as support as well. And the thing is, we're going to continue drawing ascending triangles, descending triangles, because you can see how right there you had that rising trend line and a flat line of support. Now, just thinking about it, this is the difference, though, between a symmetrical triangle and an ascending triangle. In a symmetrical triangle, you're using diagonals, right? And you are looking at and the other thing is symmetrical triangles are also equal opportunity patterns, So I'll just use maybe this paint tool. So, when you're in a bull flag and you start chopping around like this and you have the symmetrical triangle, what we're seeing sometimes is it breaks beneath the ascending or this rising trend line, and you're like, oh, break down. Or maybe it breaks above this and you're like, okay, break out. But then it just ends up getting stopped out by a horizontal resistance. One second. You see where I'm going with this. So it'll end up getting stopped out by something that looks like that, and same when it broke down, it ended up bouncing, something like that. So, the difference, my point is, when you have an ascending triangle, it looks more like that. And your confirmation on the ascending triangle is actually breaking the horizontal, not a diagonal. Your confirmation is breaking the horizontal, right? And then vice versa, if we are looking at a descending triangle, and I'm just doing this all on the spot as I'm thinking about it. But if you're looking at, a descending triangle, you have a flat line of support, right? Something like that. And then when you do break it, you have your confirmation coming down. But at the end of the day, yes, we're looking at patterns, but the confirmation is a break of horizontal support or resistance. So, thinking about it all, I do like ascending triangles and descending triangles because the confirmation uses a horizontal. Otherwise, diagonals, rising wedges, rising channels, symmetrical triangles, those can just be moved and adjusted. And, it breaks it, but it didn't break it, so then you just adjust it. Horizontals, it's hard to adjust that. It's more clear. All right, 34 minutes. Thank you guys if you're still watching. I think all that at the very end there with Ethereum was pretty eye-opening, especially going back and seeing this previous price history, hitting the resistance there and again here. So guys, if you're still watching, I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration of horizontals versus diagonals. And I also hope that you can see that just going back to previous price action and drawing horizontals, you can see the levels pretty well. Okay, Bitcoin, where are you? 72.80. Just doesn't want to get out of this range. All right, we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, I'm out.